What is going on, everybody? Welcome to a very much live edition of Today in Sports Betting presented by hoop-ball.com. I'm your host, Vince Miracle. You guys can follow me on all social media platforms of at VM Center. And man, do we have some games to go over today as it's a big NBA slate. For those who don't know, I'm a big NBA handicapper. I love talking about the NBA. I love finding the lines in the NBA that carry the most value, and we get to do it live here today. So, of course, I'm not going to be giving you the picks that I actually have. However, you guys can go to hoop-ball.com right now and sign up for our wager pass. It's just 33 cents a day. Well worth the price, guys. We're basically going streaking. If you haven't been following us on Twitter at Hoopball Gaming, we have Aaron Brewski. I think he's 27-9. I went like 14-4 over the last 7 or 8 days, maybe even 10 days. Honestly, I stopped keeping track. I've hit my cash out number a couple times. Devin was first in MLB. I just got the message this morning, or actually just right before this broadcast, that he's now down to fourth. So he's bummed. He's fighting back for it. But we got a lot of live things going on right now, and it's been a lot of fun covering the NBA and covering baseball and covering all these sports. And again, just 33 cents a day. And you get all of these handicappers talking about the sports and really filling up the bag for everybody out there. Now, before we get into this, though, I gotta talk about Saturday, because Saturday I was quiet this weekend. I'll be honest, I was super quiet this weekend. I was hanging out with the family. I was doing a lot of fun stuff, but I still had time to watch the UFC. Bobby Knuckles piece up against Kevin Gastelum. He was a 210 favorite, so that's another reason why I didn't bring it out there. Your boy bet on him. Boy bet big. Your boy hit. Kevin Gastelum just kind of looked 210 favorite. Sorry if you guys can hear that. That was the actual show, so that's the back sound on me. Because again, we are live. We're also live on Twitter Spaces. So if you guys are watching this and you want to join the conversation by calling in, just go to my Twitter at VM Center. You'll see the tile. You'll see a request button, a request microphone, and you will actually be live on the show with me here on YouTube and as well as on Twitter Spaces. And of course, I get to answer your questions. So if you guys have any bets that you guys want to talk about, props, MLB, NBA obviously is where I'm going to be the best at. We will cover it. Again, that's just at VM Center. But anyways, I'm watching Bobby Knuckles piece this dude up. Kevin Gastelum just looked outclassed in there. That's fine. I just knew he was going to win. It was like a number one thing. But while watching that, I have family here. Like I have my little brothers. They're like 19 years old, and they keep talking about over and over, do you have Jake Paul fight? Let's get the Jake Paul fight. Jake Paul. And I said, you know what? Ben Askren's a UFC fighter, guys. I get it that it was grappling. I get it. He has no hands whatsoever, and we saw that on Saturday. But I still thought 210-1 odds. How do you not bet that? I mean, it's a UFC fighter. His confidence was through the roof. I bet on him. I'm not going to lie. I thought that was going to happen. For those who missed it, it was a first-round knockout. It was gross. Snoop Dogg, still entertaining. Like, I know a lot of people hated it. I didn't mind it. I thought Pete Davidson made me laugh. I was cracking up hysterically, but it was the performance of just Snoop Dogg and everything. That was cool. But I'll be honest, the whole entertainment aspect of it and like the presentation of it for Triller, I actually thought it was like very sloppy. But betting wise, it was a lot of fun. But again, I don't want to give you the full rundown on Saturday. I just had to get that off my chest, talk about it with somebody. I'm a very talkative person, as why we went live. But yeah, guys, I lost a little bit of money and gained a little bit of money. I actually won a lot on that Kevin Gastelum versus Bobby Knuckles, baby. Robert Whitaker for the title. Let's go. Him versus Adesanya, and then I'm going to bet a lot on Israel Adesanya. But let's go ahead and jump right into this NBA slate, guys. I'm going to break down this NBA card. If we get any questions, feel free to shoot them into the live chat, or, of course, go on Twitter at VM Center and join the live spaces, and you can actually have a conversation with me. I love to do that as well. So the first game up starts at 4 p.m. tip time. It's the Cleveland Cavaliers heading into Detroit as only 3-point favorites. The line currently sits right now as a total over-under of 213. With the spread or the money lines being minus 155 to the road Cavs to a plus 135 to the Pistons. Now, I think the Cavaliers are by far the superior team here with their core three playing. When you have Jared Allen, Colin Sexton, and Darius Garland playing, obviously that's not a good like core three, but it's a decent core three that you can see what Cleveland is trying to build around, and you compare that to what Detroit is bringing out to the floor, and they've already ruled out not Jeremy Grant, but Mason Plumlee. And I think Jeremy Grant is actually questionable, as I can pull up their injury report here. But whether Grant is playing or not, I feel like you should be definitely leaning, and Jeremy Grant's also been ruled out. And the fact that the spread is still stuck at -3, I feel like that's easy pick'ems. But yeah, Grant in, Grant out. Mason Plumlee already being ruled out. Obviously, we now know that Grant is out. I think the Cavs -3 is a very strong bet that you need to be on. I'm pretty high on that bet. I'm not saying that that's where all my money is going. Obviously, you need to join the Wager Pass to figure out where that is, but I really do like this -3 right here. The over-under of 213 I find very interesting, as both teams are not really good defensively, especially when Mason Plumlee's out on the floor, off the floor. I feel like the inside presence of the Detroit Pistons is basically gone. So you're going to see a lot of Jared Allen. While Jared Allen's defense is really good as a help side defender and shot blocker, I still see him giving up a lot of points on the other end of the floor when he's playing help side as a defender, mainly just due to the fact that the wing defending by the Cavaliers is horrible. So I can see this hitting the over, and it's a coin flip. I can kind of see this game hitting the 220s potentially. But at the same time, in my head, -3, easy enough. I think that's the smarter bet to make, and that's going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers -3 here on the road against the Detroit Pistons. I feel like that is just the smart bet to make. It's the right bet to make, and don't hesitate to get over there if you can. Next game up, we have the Chicago Bulls on the road, 6.5-point underdogs to the Boston Celtics. The over-under total sits at 215.5. The home Celtics are -260 to a +215. As most of you guys already know, especially as Chicago Bull fans, Zach LaVine has already been ruled out of this game due to health and safety protocols. I think Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum has a tag next to their name. Not sure what it is. I can look that up while I'm doing this intro to this game. Now, look, I feel like the Bulls are kind of getting underestimated here against this struggling Celtics team. While the Celtics still get wins and they look good in their games, or look good on the stat sheets, their games are wishy-washy, honestly. Like and I think it was me and Blake LaWatch who, guys, when he's on here talking baseball, you guys got to listen. But when he and I were talking about the Celtics, and I think it's true. I think Vegas tends to view them as a team that's like a number 2 seed, and I don't know why. And the answer to the question is Jaylen Brown is good to go. That's what it said. So his illness, he's good to go. He's going to be back in the lineup today. I still think the Bulls are being underestimated here. I just feel like it's just not enough, though. It's still not enough, and I don't trust the Celtics enough. They're a very sloppy team. They're a very wish-washy team. I can never understand what team is going to come onto the floor on any given night, and that kind of bothers me a little bit. So I don't know if I'll necessarily be on that team or on this game. Now, the spread, again, this is another interesting spread. They have it as a very low-scoring game, and with a guy like Vucevic, who's capable of putting the ball in the hole, you got Kobe White, same exact thing. I don't know if the Celtics really have anyone that slows down Vooch. Like is Robert Williams even playing? Let me look up the Time Lord status here because I'm pretty sure he's out. Yeah, Robert Williams is out. He's already been ruled out with that left knee injury. Tristan Thompson, I believe, was questionable heading into this game. We'll look up Thompson right here as well. Tristan Thompson looks like he's going to be good to go. He played 28 minutes in their last game. Definitely expect him to do the same. But what's Tristan Thompson going to do against a guy like Vooch? Vooch's big body, his ability to finish with both his left and right hands, he's more than capable of going off for at least 25 points. So with that, let's go ahead and go into this prop builder here. And these props are going to be presented to you by mybookie.ag. Hey, guys, everyone go to mybookie.ag, whether you're betting on NBA, baseball, soccer, when football kicks back off, go ahead and bet on some football. Maybe you just like doing casino games. Maybe you're a really good blackjack player, animated virtual horse racing. Maybe that's your niche. Maybe it's pop culture. Maybe you're so good at the entertainment business that you want to bet on that. You can do all of that and more just by going to mybookie.ag. And hey, guys, when signing up for an account at mybookie.ag, be sure to use promo code HOOPBALL. That's HOOPBALL, and they'll match up to $500 of your very first deposit. So go there, become a winner today, and let's keep filling up that bag. Now, look, I said I don't fear Nikola Vucevic hitting 25 points. I feel like that's an easy walk to 25 points. The current over-under for the points for Nikola Vucevic sits at only 23.5. I'm taking the over. It's minus 114 on both sides. They see it as a coin flip. Now, I know Tristan Thompson is known as a defender. Again, I just don't think he's going to be able to handle the size and the versatility of what Vucevic brings. He can not only get post moves down low, but if you guys have been watching it, he has a jump shot for a center. Not a shot like Nikola Jokic. He has a shot. He has a 3-point shot. Vucevic has a 3-point jumper, and it's gross, bro. I like Vucevic. I feel like he's still an undervalued center in most people's eyes. He's a really good basketball player. He's going to put up numbers. If I had to go one way or another on the spread, I guess I'm going to take plus 6.5 for the Bulls. But I just don't feel confident in that. The thing I do feel confident in is just going over to that prop builder and looking at these props. Like, I really like Vucevic for 25 points. And, you know, that's something that I think could really happen. Another thing that I see a lot of people talking about in the Discord, and again, I recommend you guys signing up for that wager pass and just joining the Discord conversation. The NBA chats have been ridiculous as of late. I love going to that Discord and talking with all of you guys. But the assist numbers have been where a lot of people will be getting excited, and they love it for Nikola Vucevic. Now, Vucevic is currently sitting at over under of 3.5. And it sits at minus 130 for you to bet on the over. And I still think that's fair value. Another one that I think is fair value that you can go hit the over on is 4.5 for Kobe White. Now, I know Kobe White for a lot of people is known as just a scorer. Like, he's a point guard, or he's a shooting guard stuck in a point guard's body. And I 100% get that. He loves to shoot the basketball. There's no question about it. I think there is I still think that there is a starting caliber point guard on that team. Or in him. And in his last 2 games, look, 7 assists, 9 assists. The over-under currently sits at 4.5. That's, again, minus 135. Minus 130 to a Vucevic is 3.5. Both those seem good to me. Over 23.5 for Vucevic on the points. I like that as well. Obviously, it's not positive money at minus 114 for the Vooch points, minus 130 for the Vooch assists, and then minus 135 for the Kobe White 4.5 assists. But those are all bets that are in a reasonable, spread line to where I feel it's a reasonable line to bet on that. And I feel comfortable with it. 4 hours in, I feel like you're definitely going to see it. So those are the ones that I'm looking at when it comes down to these NBA bets, and it comes down to this Chicago Bulls Boston Celtics game. Let's go ahead and move on to the next game here. And this one's pretty interesting to me. And I haven't looked up the news, but based on what I'm seeing, I feel like there's a good chance that Steph Curry is out of this game. Let me look this up. So he's questionable. Steph Curry is questionable for this game, as the Golden State Warriors are heading into Philadelphia as 9-point underdogs going up against the Philadelphia 76ers. The over-under on the total sits at 223.5, while the money line sits as a minus 420 to a plus 310 for the Golden State Warriors. Look, I feel like you ride the Warriors plus 9 just to feel out if Steph's playing. If Steph's playing, plus 9, I feel like is a good one. Is a good you have Steph. You have the ability to shoot. Do I think the Warriors have a real chance? I really don't. Honestly, I feel like the only team that has a true chance of beating the Brooklyn Nets when they're at full strength is the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, I'm not saying that Milwaukee couldn't do it. I like Milwaukee's team. I like the way that they're built, but it's the way Philadelphia plays. They play inside out. Honestly, when I watch them play, I feel like I'm watching a early 2000s basketball team, and it's because of how well they use Joel Embiid and how much of a dominant big man he is in today's game. So I think the Sixers definitely are going to win this game. However, with that said, I'm betting on Curry playing and putting up points. And if he's putting up points, plus 9 seems just right. If he's playing. again, that's the gamble in this one. If I'm not betting on it, I'll be honest. This is one I'll watch from afar. Hope that you get to see Curry play, but that's what I'm betting on if I had to put money on it. The over under on 223.5. Now this is one where I'm opposite for all of these. If Steph doesn't play, I'm hitting the under. I think the Sixers run out with a big lead and then they just don't look back. Like I could see this being 115 to 85. You know what I mean? What was that, 220? I think that would be a perfect score for that. I can definitely see that happening if Steph doesn't play. So that obviously is going to be the deciding factor there. But still, again, really like it. Really think it's if you know or hear anything that Steph is playing and you can still get it at +9, you should feel comfortable. Next up, we have the Houston Rockets on the road facing off against the Miami Heat, who just got a big upset win over the Brooklyn Nets, 109 to 107 yesterday. The Rockets head into Miami as 6.5-point underdogs. Let me see here. I got to pull up this injury report because the one I looked up earlier, I was told got revised. So let me see who's out and who is in for the Rockets because I believe John Wall is returning tonight. And he is. So John Wall returns tonight. Christian Wood is still in the lineup. He's been playing very, very well. And I keep telling people this, so I'm going to tell you guys this one more time since this is a live stream and I got a few people watching. The Houston Rockets are not the same team that you guys all remember. They are not a fast, up and down three-point shooting team. They're a horrible basketball team that plays gritty and carries a lot of energy. They're a bad basketball team. Like their defense, they try to play hard on defense. They play gritty defense. They like to bump into you a couple times, especially Tate. Tate is a chest bumper defensively. I actually like that about him. I think that is what makes him a good defender. It's the same reason why I like Lou Dort. But they're not the same team that you guys all remember. And I think they get underestimated in a lot of these games, and especially in this one against the Rockets or against the Heat, because the Heat are on the second night of a back-to-back. They basically had to use their entire bench because Jimmy Butler was out against the Nets yesterday due to, I believe, an ankle injury. And I think he's also a game-time decision today. Yeah, he's again, a game-time decision, questionable tag on Jimmy Butler. I'm taking +6.5 here. I think +6.5 here with the Rockets is solid. You get a bad team that brings out a lot of energy against in a matchup where they actually fare pretty well. You know what I mean? Like Jae'Sean Tate against Tyler Hero. Okay, not horrible. Obviously, Tyler Hero is the better player, but defensively, Jae'Sean Tate has the edge, and he can keep up with Hero, make things difficult. They're going to need Hero to score. Same thing with Dragic. Maybe you move Tate to Dragic. Daniel House will then go to Tyler Hero, and I still feel like that's okay. Christian Wood against Bam. I think Bam has size advantage, but Christian Wood has skill advantage, and just barely. But I still think the Houston Rockets have a chance of keeping it within that spread. The only way I can describe the Houston Rockets is they're a car crash team that you can't take your eyes off. Like, obviously, with a car crash, you never want to see one happen. But when you turn it on or it's happening right in front of you, you can't look away. And when that happens, sometimes you just get to see something where you're like, okay, I see what they're doing. They're just playing gritty. That's the Houston Rockets. They're a car crash that you can't take your eyes off of. And I'm taking that +6.5 in this car crash. The over-under on 216.5. This is another game where I do feel like they believe that Miami Heat is a really good defensive team. I feel like they give up a ton of points here. And they gave up a lot already to the Nets yesterday. They're coming in and they play really good defense at 107 to keep the Nets that low. I feel like is actually really good defense. Second night of a back-to-back, still question mark on if Jimmy Butler's playing. I like the over on 216.5. I can actually see this game ending at like 110 to 107 or like 110 to 115 or something like that. I can see this being a very high-scoring game. Next up, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder on the road as 12.5-point underdogs. Wow, I think this is the biggest spread. I think this is the biggest spread the Wizards have had all season on any team since like probably the beginning of the year, maybe when they were like, oh yeah, it's Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook, and then they saw how bad Russell Westbrook actually is, and now they've played a little bit better, and look where the spread is now. So with that said, you guys will probably already see where I'm leaning, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'll bet this game. The total sits at 232 as an over-under. Interesting line. And then obviously the money line's currently sitting at plus 600 to the Road Thunder to a minus 1,000 to the Washington Wizards. So they are fairly confident that the Wizards are winning this game. I obviously agree. I think the Wizards are definitely winning this game. Money line is not where it's going to be at when you're betting on these Wizards, but 12.5 points is way too many not to consider this one. Look, Lou Dort has really been coming out of his shell as of late. I'm just going to pull up his last 3 games. Lou Dort's defense is what everyone talks about, but with SGA out, his defense has been phenomenal. Look, or his offense, I should say, has been phenomenal. 42 points, got a game for rest, 26 points, and then 29 points. So he's been looking nice. And I bring all that stuff up just to let you know that Lou Dort's out this game. Just got that. He has a tank violator ruled out. I was giving this guy his roses, giving him his praise, and I find out he's not even playing in the game. That's rough. That's rough. Now with that, I mean, I still think they have a chance, though. I mean, have you guys seen this guy, Poku? Andre Pokulevsky? Yo, he is a nice, skilled 19-year-old player. He makes it interesting. But look, just talking about this line and how it just changes like that fast in an instant. Obviously, the Wizards are the better team. I just roll the dice. I just feel like 12.5 is a lot because I don't trust the Wizards. Now, Gafford's been good, and that's why I wanted to click into these prop bets because Daniel Gafford, since being traded to them from the Bulls, has played well, and he only gets like 16 minutes a game. Him, Mo Bamba, and Robert Williams get these crazy PERs in these low amount of minutes, and he's another one. And so with that said, let's go ahead and see what we got for Daniel Gafford, if they even put him on here. Yeah, let's see. Total rebounds, Gafford. No Gafford bets, huh? So they're still not even putting him on any of these. They have Darius Bazley at over under 15.5 points. I like over 15.5. I think Darius Bazley definitely needs to step up this game. Theo Maledon assist number is only at 4.5, and that's plus money. Now, I know he's not necessarily a really good passer, but Theo Maledon is capable of passing the ball, and with no Lou Dort there to take the ball handling duties away from him and let him be like a off-ball slasher, Theo Maledon is going to have the ball right back in his hands. Him and Poku. Again, Andre Pokusevsky, I like him. I can only call him Poku. Those two guys are really going to be the distributors, but I think it falls in the hands of Theo Maledon today. Give me Theo Maledon over 4.5 assists. I think he gets you 5 to 6 assists today. That pays out plus 120. I like that one a lot. But yeah, I was really hoping to see a Gafford prop bet in here, but nothing. Nothing. If you guys have any prop bets that you guys want to talk about, feel free to write it in the chat. I'm here ready to listen. Also, for those who don't know, we are also live on Twitter Spaces. Feel free to go on @VM Center and join the Twitter Space, and you can actually join in a one-on-one conversation just by requesting to chat. And again, it's just like calling in, but you're not even needing to call in. You just push a button. Ooh, game of the night is right here. And look, because we're doing this live show, and I'm feeling very, very generous. I'm going to give you guys one of my wager pass picks, and it's going to be the Milwaukee Bucks minus 2.5. I'm not going to tell you the units. If you want the units, go on the wager pass, 33 cents a day, hoop-ball.com. Minus 2.5. The Milwaukee Bucks are at home taking on a very strong, well-rounded Phoenix Suns team. The over-under currently sits at 234 even. And the money line sits as a plus 115 to the Suns to a minus 135 to the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm already looking at the under at 234. I think that this spread is completely underestimating the quality of defense the Milwaukee Bucks can play, especially with Drew Holiday, Giannis, and Middleton all playing in the same exact game. Love that for them, and they all are expected to play. I just don't think you hesitate to click on the button of minus 2.5 to the Milwaukee Bucks at home. They're a better home team than they are a road team. And obviously, when you look at this team matchup wise, everything looks good until you see the name Giannis Antetokounmpo, because I don't see Mikal Bridges, DeAndre Ayton, and if you crash down on him, these guys have been knocking down shots. Drew Holiday has truly been an X factor for this team defensively over I think his last 8 games. He's averaging 2 to 2.5 steals per game. He's been a complete monster, and you can't. I think they're just underestimating this team with this spread. Now I get it. The Phoenix Suns have been playing out of this world. They're playing great basketball. Shout out to Chris Paul. I actually like the fact that Charles Barkley puts him in the MVP conversation because I think he needs to be there. I think he's a really good basketball player that has made every team he is on better. But always, again, it comes down to he's never won a championship, blah, 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 blah. And give the guy his roses while he's here. I think everyone needs to get that while he's here. Let's see. Let's go check out these prop bets. So you have Giannis over under as 27.5. Definitely see him hitting that over. They have it as a coin flip. Over under for 17.5 for Drew Holiday. I was just bragging about him, but I see him getting like 15 points, 6 assists, 2 steals. So I see that there. So I take the under there. 19.5 is the over under for Chris Middleton. I'm taking the over there. They're going to need him to step up and be a scorer and a defender. Devin Booker over under sits at 27.5. I am taking the under on that one. I think under. I'm telling you, man, this is my favorite game. This has a lot of money potential because, again, I feel like Vegas is underestimating the value and the quality of the Milwaukee Bucks defense and their bench, man. Their bench has been playing really great. Bobby Portis, every time he needs to fill in for Giannis, has been spectacular. He has great footwork. I feel like he finally found his role and what he needs to be in the NBA. Bobby Portis. I like him a lot. I feel like he's a really good basketball player. He's found the perfect fit team for him. I even think matchup wise from the bench for him, he has the matchup advantage as well. Going up against Crowder and stuff like that, I definitely don't see that stopping him. But again, I'm taking the over on 27.5. The points, rebounds, and assists. Now, I know a lot of you guys like this one as well. For those who don't know, it's a combination of points, rebounds, and assists, total accumulation of those 3. Now, the over-under for Giannis is 43.5. That's pretty high, but I still think he can get over it. I'm not betting on that. The line doesn't make me want to bet on it. It's too rich for me. But here is one that I do kind of like, and it's Devin Booker over under 35.5. I see him getting a lot of assists in this game because I think the focal point is going to be Chris Paul is going to need to be not the orchestrator. He's going to need to be their primary scorer, and he's going to go one-on-one a lot with either Drew Holiday or Chris Middleton, both really good defenders. I like Devin Booker on the over for 35.5 still. I think he's still going to get you right around 23 points. He's going to get you right around 6 rebounds. I put you at 29. And then I can see him get you like 7 assists today. And that puts you at 36. And that's over. Now, again, it's very close. But I do like the over here. And it's favorable money. It's minus 111 for Devin Booker. A lot of things to be had, but I don't want to steer away from the fact that this is one of my favorite, if not my favorite game of the day. And this is on my wager pass. I'm not telling you my units, but it's minus 2.5 to the Milwaukee Bucks. I am on that, and that is on my wager pass. Next up, we have the Memphis Grizzlies on the road in Denver going up against the Denver Nuggets. Plus 7.5 to the Grizz. Over-under currently sits at 226.5 with a money line spread of plus 265 to the road Grizz and a minus 330 to the Denver Nuggets. Now, look, everyone kind of knows, right? Like, the Nuggets are still a good team. They still have quality players. I mean, Campazzo's a serviceable backup. Monte Morris, serviceable backup. One's a scorer. One's an assist man. One gets you steals. One gets you threes. So fantasy-wise, we know what it is. Another obvious thing we know, Nikola Jokic is going to have to be more of a primary ball handler and distributor. Other guys are going to need to step up. With that, I still think that the Grizzlies plus 7.5 is something that you need to take. John Morant's been playing out of this mind. I don't see Morris or Campazzo finding any way to stop him. Jonas Valanciunas. Dude, Valanciunas. I don't know how you're necessarily supposed to pronounce his name, but I love this guy's game. He plays with intensity. He plays as a bruiser, And I love that it's in Memphis because it brings me back to the good old days. They play faster, but they still bump you down low for the Grind City out there in Memphis. Good team. Good team. Nuggets are still trying to find their way. They know they need to take a deep breath. They know they need all of their guys to step up for them to, fill that void that's left with I cannot believe I'm blanking out on his name right now. Jamal Murray. Oh my gosh, complete brain fart. Jamal Murray being out. Obviously, they're going to need to fill the void there, but I just feel like, again, I'm rolling with the hot hands. I'm rolling with the younger guys. I just feel like it's an obvious choice here to take the line plus 7.5 and say, hey, one team is trying to regroup and find how they're going to play moving forward, while the other one is still fighting for their playoffs lives or play-in lives. You know what I mean? So plus 7.5, I like the Memphis Grizzlies here a lot, actually. 226.5. Again, that's an interesting one. I can actually see this going on the under. I can see this being a very low-scoring game, 105 to 110. So it's like something, and I keep saying 110 a lot. That's like a big number I have in my head for a lot of these games. Is like a good, reasonable. They're not going to score a lot of points. 110 and under, not a lot of points for a team. I could see that happening in this game just because I feel like you're going to see a lot of inside present moves. Like you're going to see Aaron Gordon drive and dunk. You're going to see Michael Porter jab step, dribble, shoot it. By the way, that's exactly how he plays. Watch any of his plays. I like Michael Porter Jr. Not a good fit for this Denver Nuggets team. That's just my personal opinion. A lot of pick and roll. Will Barton with the Euro. I'm just trying to figure out ways where the points get accumulated. I don't see a lot of three-point shooting now that Jamal Murray is gone. Like all those extra shots from three are going to be cut maybe down in half, if not all the way gone. And it's going to be spread out between all these other guys. And I don't know if I necessarily trust them in making it. So again, I just don't see a lot of points being scored. Could the Nuggets still win? Yeah, possibly. I just think 7.5 is way too much to give the Grizzlies. You take the Grizzlies here, you bet on Jaw, you take that, and you say it's going to be an under game. I think under 226.5 is a fair bet to make. All right, guys, and then we have the final game of the night, and we already have a little bit of the handicappers torn because AB and Danny B are both on the Utah Jazz here. They're -7. I feel like that's too hot. That's too hot of a number. Lakers are going to have Andre Drummond. Well, that's a difference maker or not. But their defense is still going to be there. Defensively, they're still sound. And it's just going to be like a team offensive game. And I know that Jordan Clarkson's probably going to pop off in this game. There's probably a prop in there, and we'll go check it out that we can find. But the rest, I mean, I can see it. I just don't like it. I'm not touching this game, but I personally believe you take Lakers +7. However, with that said, I am not in this game. There's no way I'm touching this game, but I will tell you that AB and Danny B are leaning Jazz. I don't know if that's in their wager pass. I haven't read theirs yet, but I know that's where I've been told that's where they're leaning. The over-under at 215 seems pretty low, but again, I don't know where the scoring comes from for either team. I mean, yeah, they're going to do driving kicks, a lot of it, but maybe the under. I can definitely see it going under. I would not be surprised if it went under. The over-under on points, by the way, this is the prop bets for Andre Drummond is 13.5. I'm surprised that the over is favored here. The guy hasn't been scoring points. Like, he hasn't been scoring, so I don't understand why this is such a -120 to a -108. I don't understand why it's so big of a favorite there. I mean, obviously, I'm going to go to the over. I think that makes the most sense because Drummond's going to need to be there. But, yeah, I'll take the over on that one. The one I am looking at, though, the one that I think I like the absolute most is Mike Conley over 17.5. He's going to need to be that guy. He's going to need to be. He can't just be so passive. They're going to need him to shoot. They're going to need him to be a screen and pop. He doesn't always need a pass. He doesn't always need to hit the roller. He doesn't always need to look for Rudy Gobert. He needs to hit that mid-range jumper. He needs to find that scoring that he has in him and start putting up buckets because he's more than capable of doing it. And it's favorited in your way to go for the over here. That's what I currently like is over 17.5. That's a -105 for Mike Conley. Jordan Clarkson's is 20.5. again, could he get that? Yeah, for sure. I can see him scoring 23, 25, even 30 points. Jordan Clarkson's a walking bucket, and it's against his former team in Los Angeles. Definitely see that. I just personally wouldn't touch it. I think that's a little too scary for me. So, yeah, not much here, huh? Let's go to the assist numbers. Let's see what they have Dennis Schroeder for a 6.5. I can see Schroeder going over if Andre Drummond is scoring 13.5 points. Majority of that could come from Schroeder. I like over 6.5 for Schroeder, but that's positive money. Obviously, that's plus 110. These ones are getting a little riskier here because you don't know what you're going to see from this Jazz team, and that's why I'm torn from what I'm hearing from AB and Dan. I just don't see you take the Jazz -7. I think you just take the Lakers +7 if you had to bet, or you just take the wait and see approach because the Jazz without Donovan Mitchell are just too confusing to me. I'm not a huge fan of this thing. That's just my personal opinion. All right, guys, that has been our NBA rundown. I really hope you guys enjoyed this live show. I'm going to keep doing these shows live every single Monday when I host this show. It's going to be live again on the Twitter Spaces where you guys can actually hit the request button, join in the conversation, be on the podcast. You guys are going to be able to hear your voices and everything here on the show, or you can write your questions down there in the live chat. Love that as well. Being able to answer all of your guys' questions, chit-chat all about it and everything like that. So this was a lot of fun. Let's just do a quick rundown of how we had these bets one more time before we completely sign off. So we really like Cavs -3. We are avoiding this Bulls Celtics game, but if we had to choose, we like the Bulls. Warriors Sixers, we're taking +9 on the Warriors if we feel like Steph Curry's going to play. But again, this is another wait, watch, and see. We like Rockets +6.5. That's one that I feel like you can feel comfortable making it. And I wouldn't go over a unit and a half. That you go over a unit and a half, you are throwing a huge gamble out there. Thunder +12.5, mainly just because we don't trust the Wizards. No matter how good they play, we don't trust it. This is your wager pass free pick that I'm giving you here live on this show, which is Milwaukee Bucks -2.5. I am on that. If you want to know the units, just sign up for the wager pass there. Oh, here's a game we actually didn't even talk about because the line shut down. I think it's because the Domantas Sabonis being questionable news popped up, and that's the Spurs being 1.5-point favorites over the Indiana Pacers. Now, look, a lot of you guys know I'm a big Pacers supporter. I've made a lot of money on the Pacers this year. I still like the Pacers at even money line. This could be my UD pick of the day, honestly. I like the Pacers even money line. I'm just letting you guys know that now. I'm not going to go into a full rundown. We're running low on time, but Pacers money line is what I like here, whether Sabonis plays or not. Brogdon's capable of carrying this team. Grizzlies +7.5, where we want that one. Utah, you either want to ride with the mindset of the Lakers are good defensively, +7 is a little too much for them, or you're like the Jazz are just that good of a team and the Lakers have nothing without AD and LeBron. You take them -7. I'm avoiding that game. So that's your guys' quick rundown of the NBA slate. Thank you guys once again. My name has been Vince Miracle. You guys can follow me at VM Center. Follow Hoopball Gaming at Hoopball Gaming on Twitter. Hoop-ball.com is the website. Shout out to our sponsors, mybookie.ag and my bad, Dan, but I didn't do this one. But manscaped.com. Everyone go there. Get the weed whacker. Say you heard it from us. Trim up all your holes. And no, not that one. Just these twos and those two. I mean, whatever you do with the other ones, I don't really care. It's none of my business. But yeah, go to the weed whacker. It'll clean you up. You'll smell, breathe better. Again, at VM Center, at Hoopball Gaming, mybookie.ag, manscaped.com. Shout out to all the people that joined me live. Until next time, better, sending all the good vibes. Peace.